And welcome to Time Warner Cable Arena. Great ball game here tonight. Playoff atmosphere like, Brooklyn Nets in town to take on Charlotte Bobcats. Kenn Blakenship with us here. What a great night. We got Coach Cox behind the camera. What a great night for Charlotte Bobcats basketball. Like I said, another playoff type atmosphere and a big win for the Bobcats with only 10 games left in the season, Kenn.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Bonus basketball here in Time Warner tonight, and you get your two linchpins, Kemba Walker and Al Jefferson. And, I think we all agreed 2 or 3 months ago, as soon as he got healthy, he was going on a historic roll. And that's what you saw again here tonight. 35 points, 15 rebounds. And as you and I were talking about earlier in the tunnel about 5 minutes ago, played really good defense on a pretty tough cover in Andre Blatch.
Yeah.
So really a total game for Al Jefferson and a lot of support from a lot of good performances by Bobcats all around.
Yeah, I think Bobcats fans are getting a little spoiled with the play of Al Jefferson. I mean, what an asset he is since bringing him in. But what a great, entertaining basketball game by both teams. We were just talking about before we went on air, Kenn. Low turnover game for both teams. Both teams come out shooting hot. Yep. Darren Williams has 18 first quarter points, and really the Bobcats didn't have an answer for him, but they settled in. It was a 1-point game at halftime, and in the second half, it looks like the Bobcats turned up their intensity.
Yeah, they really did. And that's what they're going to have to do down the stretch. If you can get good, timely defense, sustaining that defensive intensity for high runs, you're going to be in pretty good shape. Fighting for 6th spot right now, that depends, that will determine who you play in the first round of the playoffs, and that could mean everything for this team advancing one more round. I mean, I don't think anybody really expects them to do a whole bunch in the playoffs, but you win your first round, and then anything can happen. So Bobcats can do that, get in good shape, get a favorable opponent round one. I think you're looking at some good things here for this franchise.
Absolutely. You talked about it. Getting that 6th seed would be huge. I think Al Jefferson joked around in the locker room. He said even though he would love to have the 6th seed, he just wants to get in and be happy. He likes how this team's playing. He likes the confidence, but you talked about it. You're in 7th right now. If you stay in that 7th or 8th spot, you're probably looking at Miami or Indiana. So you kind of want to avoid that. If you can get into the 6th spot, you said it. If you can win a first-round series and you get even more confidence, then all of a sudden anything can happen. So that's what this team's trying to do. We had a chance to talk to a bunch of guys in the locker room. We talked to Coach Clifford after the game. And of course, the mood was very high. Everybody's energized and confidence. And just talk about what you heard from the players after the game.
Well, I mean, one of the guys we talked to was Chris Douglas-Roberts, who hit big shots tonight, especially one down the stretch, and played extended minutes. And as Coach Clifford was saying in the media room, it doesn't matter if that kid plays 7 minutes or he plays 27. I think he said actually 6 and 26. But the point is well taken. He's a pro. The guys like that are just looking for an opportunity. He said it himself just now in the locker room. And when guys like that get an opportunity and they have that professional mindset, that's one of the keys. You go in there and do what you got to do. You defend because that's what good teams do. And they pay him to make shots. Tonight he made enough big shots and they win. So everybody contributed. Chris Douglas-Roberts, great job.
And the thing about it is, I think Coach and I have talked about this all season long. The one thing about this team is whenever somebody goes down, somebody steps up. Regardless of who goes down, Al goes down earlier in the year. They have guys come in and step up off the bench. Gerald Henderson goes down for a few games. Kemba goes down for a few games. Here comes Pargo. Here comes Chris Douglas-Roberts. Now Gary Neal's out for a couple of games. He's banged up with ankle and knee injuries, and here comes Chris Douglas-Roberts. He hits big shot after big shot down the stretch, hits one that really puts the game away after a block on McRoberts. So it's something about this team where no matter what happens, they face adversity and they face it well. And if you're trying to be a winning team and a playoff basketball team, you got to be able to handle those situations, and they've been doing that all year.
No question. Good teams are deep and good teams are flexible. Look at Luke tonight. Luke Ridnour. He played some big minutes tonight. He hasn't been playing exceptionally well, but he played very well tonight. He hit some big shots. So if you can do what you're supposed to do what you get paid to do, and also knock down shots, I tell you what, because not everybody on this roster, is paid to knock down shots. But when you get that and it's gravy, so to speak, Luke Ridnour has always been a guy who shoots the ball well here in this league. And if you can get that out of your backup one, when your front one is Kemba Walker, which I think we're all in agreement is right there at the superstar level. He's amazing. I can remember one possession. Coach and I were talking about it. It was a horrible possession. They didn't do anything until 5 seconds on the clock, and then Kemba Walker, just because of unbelievable natural ability and to be able to create space, so he gets a good look at the basket, just makes an impossible shot that probably 5 guys in the league could make. Yeah. And it was just a big moment. So if you can get those kind of performances, I tell you what, you can do some good things.
Yeah, and Kemba finishes with 20 points and 12 assists tonight. Like you said, he hit some big shots. He loves the clutch moment. We saw that when he was in college with UConn, leading him to a national title, hitting game winners in the Big East tournament. I mean, the guy loves the big moment. And the thing thing about it is, you talked about it, Kenn, when there's so much focus on Al late in the games, and Kemba has got to be that playmaker. When you're a point guard, like Coach said, you go one-on-one, you probably have the best opportunity to get a shot, and he's been able to do that. The other thing is, I think a lot of people talk maybe that Kemba tries to do too much, but I totally disagree, because you said it. He gets the ball in his hands a lot with a shot clock running down, and he has to improvise and create. And for the most part, he does a great job, and he did it again tonight. But what a great performance by the Bobcats. Again, we're live at Time Warner Cable Arena for Cox Sports Broadcast, and I have Kenn Blakenship beside me. Coach is behind the camera tonight, being the producer. But again, we talked about it.
He does that well.
He does a great job. I think he's enjoying the night off back there.
His face off the camera and things work out well.
He's doing a great job. But you talked about it. I think now with 10 games left and this team playing with confidence, you kind of scoreboard watch a little bit. The Wizards lose tonight. The Hawks lose tonight. It's another great night for the Bobcats, and all of a sudden they're 1.5 games out of that 6th spot with 2 games against the Wizards left in these final 10 games.
No doubt, and that offers a lot of encouragement. I mean, that's what you come out to the arena for, to see winning basketball. And that's what the Bobcats, it's a new culture in this building. I've said that many times before, and there's actually hope in this building. And so anytime a team comes in here, you're looking at a Brooklyn Nets team that could do major damage in the playoff. They have so many weapons. They're missing Garnett tonight, so they don't have that much presence at the rim. Plumlee gives them a little bit shaky, but I don't believe there's anybody, and I'm going to make a bold statement here, guys, get ready for this. I don't believe there's anybody in the history of the league can guard Al Jefferson one-on-one. I really don't. He's got so much stuff in his bag, and what a luxury that is. You know, 5 men, the center spot that can score in the NBA, it's almost a lost commodity. So you got a top 3 center in the league, and in most nights, take the other night for example, you've got arguably a top 3 or 4 defensive center to ever play the game in Dwight Howard when he's healthy. And Al, I mean, you know, and Dwight was a little under the weather. Coach, you know, that's his boy, so he pointed that out to me. But still, I mean, anybody that comes in here, and you saw Jason Kidd, for as much as he took it on the chin early this year, and rightfully so, they were playing horribly, he's made some great adjustments, and he's starting to show, I mean, we know he knows the game. Absolutely. Can you coach it? Different story, but now he's proven that he can coach it. He took the ball out of Al's hands late, and that's what you've got to do, because superstars in this league demand double teams, especially going down the stretch, but they make big buckets. Look at Darren Williams. You know, I mean, he started off 18 in the first, like you said, didn't score again until 8 minutes to go in the game, but knew when to step it up, because he's a he's an Olympian, for heaven's sake. One of the 12 best on the planet at, you know, when he's healthy, and you know, so he makes big shots. But if you can beat a team like that, it's in your building, so what? You know what I'm saying? That's a big win no matter where it is. And you can beat the Nets, I tell you what, you can do something in
well, I definitely agree with a couple things you said there. For one, Al Jefferson, when he gets going, he's almost unstoppable, and it's not just down in the post. He can step out and knock down the jump shot. And even the other night, like you said, with going against a guy like Dwight Howard, I think a lot of people said maybe he didn't have a great game, but you look up and he still had 20 and 11. So 20 and 11 is almost an off night for that guy these days. So he's playing unbelievable. And just to touch on the Nets for a second, because since they're right ahead of us and we need to focus on them a little bit, I think you hit it on the head with Jason Kidd. I wasn't real big on the hire just because he didn't have experience. They're a win-now team. They need to go for a championship this year. They don't have time to wait for a coach to learn on the fly. Now, they have corrected the issues, and the one thing I do give Kidd a lot of credit for is that he finally realized that he doesn't need to rely on Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett so much to be a winning basketball team. We looked at it. Garnett didn't come in the game in the 4th quarter until 3 minutes to go because Teletovic was out there shooting the lights out from behind the three-point line. So he's found a good balance of what guys he needs to go with, and he knows that everything doesn't need to run through those older veterans. So Kidd's done a good job of getting this team together, but I look at the other side, and I think Coach Clifford is doing one of the best coaching jobs in the NBA, if not the best. What he's brought to this team on the defensive end, we saw it late in the game, and the confidence he's brought to these players, guys who are coming from the D-League like Chris Douglas-Robertson, giving them the opportunity, making them better. It's just an unbelievable job what him and his staff have done.
I couldn't agree more, and you utilize the D-League. That's what it's there for.
Absolutely.
And I tell you what, you find pearls every once in a while, and they found a pearl tonight in CDR.
Well, once again, 116-111 in overtime. The Bobcats improved to 35 and 37 on the season. They're now 1.5 games out of that 6th spot. So not only are they looking to get the 6th spot, 500 is still a possibility for this basketball team. So, you know, we're going to wrap it up here from Time Warner Cable Arena. The Bobcats will come back home on Monday night against those Washington Wizards. It's going to be a huge game, another playoff atmosphere. But, Kenn, what are your final thoughts as we close out the night?
I say break John Wall's ankle before he breaks yours, you know, because they go as he goes, you know, and then everybody feeds off of him. So if you can do a good enough job of slowing him down. And the other thing is Kemba Walker will make him work on the other end. Now, I'm not so sure that he'll be guarded guarding Kemba Walker the whole night, maybe that coaching staff, says, look, you go guard somebody else, and you reserve a little bit of that, for that energy for the other end. So, they've got to guard us too. So, it's a big game against the Wizards.
Huge game come out on Monday night. I know it's the start of a week, but it's a great way to start the week off with the playoff type performance. Going against these Wizards, trying to catch them. We need a great crowd here to keep pushing this team towards the playoffs. And my final thought is the Bobcats just need to keep playing with that same intensity and that same effort. I think good things will come. But for Coach Cox behind the camera as the executive producer tonight, for Kenn Blakenship, I'm Dustin Phifer for Cox Sports Broadcast, and we'll see you right back here on Monday night from Time Warner Cable Arena. Good night.